Welcome to the Wasteland News Network. Today is April 8th, 2021, and a new Inside the Vault was just released. Here's the lowdown on Update 26 called Locked and Loaded. It will go live on April 27th. This update will include the much anticipated perk loadout system, also camp slots, and the arrival of mannequins. In addition to that, there's a complete overhaul to the daily ops system. There's a brand new mode called Decryption, where you have to disable radio interceptors. You need to hunt 3 enemy code carriers, take them down to get a special code, and use it to disable a radio interceptor. But for every code carrier you take down, the enemy waves will become even more deadly. They've also added Scorched, Mothman cultists, and mole miners. There's new ways to die, toxic blood, group regenerated, swift-footed. These are great. I had a chance to play in the mode in Vault 96. It is an amazing location. You can check out that video. And that's it. So right now, right after this, there's a dev dive video giving us more in-depth information on the new daily ops. Here it is.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another Fallout 76 Dev Dive. This time we're going to be taking a closer look at our Daily Ops expansion that's coming with our Locked and Loaded update in a few weeks. My name is Nate Valenta with the community team, and joining me today are Steve and Justin from the development team. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Hey Nate, excited to be here.
Yeah, likewise.
Awesome, me too. So tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do for the game. Steve, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, sure. I'm Steve Massey. I'm the lead level designer on Fallout 76, and I'm the product owner for Daily Ops.
Hi, this is Justin. I'm a senior level designer and owner of Decryption, our new mode for Daily Ops.
Awesome. I cannot wait to get into that, especially the decryption part. A new mode is always exciting. So for those who may be watching at home who haven't played Daily Ops or haven't heard of them, can you give us a little refresher on what exactly they are?
Daily Ops are a 10-minute cycle of gameplay that is repeatable and has a bunch of randomized elements. So we released it, I want to say 6 months ago now, something like that, and we've gotten really great feedback from the community, and everybody seems to be very passionate about it. And the big part about this is the randomized elements, and the biggest thing we're excited about on this beat is that we're able to almost double the amount of randomized elements that we have. So we're going to get some really interesting behavior with that that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, definitely excited about this, especially that we're doubling everything, you know, a new mode, new mutations, new enemy types, a bunch of new places to go. I mean, Daily Ops has been, since it came out, it's from my perspective anyway, it's been one of the most popular things in the community. So Justin, a moment ago, you mentioned Decryption being the new game mode for Daily Ops. I'm really excited about this one. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is and how it works and what the overall flow of it will be?
Decryption is heavily influenced by hardcore tactical shooters. So enemies are extra deadly this time with a new mutation that we're calling Savage Strike. This gives the enemies increased damage, accuracy, and it also allows them to bypass the player's armor. The new mode has much more complex enemy behavior. The enemies have behavior patterns that respond to player actions and ramp up over the progression of the match. The objectives also ramp up with more enemies to hunt and kill, and more enemies defending the radio interceptors, the objective points. The Decryption is a different challenge with opportunities for different strategies, playstyles, and character builds. So you can pull out your stealth build now.
Savage Strike sounds interesting. It definitely sounds brutal. I think it's going to cut right through a lot of players' armor.
Yeah, Savage Strike, the default mutation does a few things. It cuts through player damage resistance, and we have some extra damage added onto it and some extra accuracy. So Justin mentioned tactical shooters a second ago, and that's kind of our template for this gameplay. You want to see the enemies before they see you, which is why stealth builds come in so valuable here. Something cool that we were able to do with Decryption that we haven't really done before is dynamically populate an entire dungeon with enemies, and so we're using our encounter wave system, which we use to generate enemies, and we spread them out across the entire dungeon. So it's something new that we've tried, and it's really worked out for us, and we're excited to share that with everybody.
Awesome. So walk me through the basics of Decryption. Like, what is the progression through it?
Yeah, sure. We have a setting for Decryption this time in which the players are once again working with Initiate Dodge.
Initiate Dodge here. I found radio interceptors in your area. Someone's listening in on our communications. I'm not sure who it is, but I don't like it.
Dodge has discovered that someone is intercepting Brotherhood communications, and these signals have been tracked down to some especially deadly locations. The players need to infiltrate the location, get the decryption codes, and shut down these radio interceptors that are intercepting the Brotherhood communications.
And I imagine we'll have to do that pretty quickly to get the rare rewards at the end.
Yeah, we actually ended up sticking with the same time targets. It's something that we tested, which, by the way, are 8 minutes, 12 minutes, and 16 minutes for the different tiers. We decided we liked those times, and we kind of balanced the game mode around that. And so if you can complete all the objectives in 8 minutes or less, then you're going to get the Elder Reward tier.
Very cool. I mean, and speaking of rewards, what are some of the new things that people are going to be able to get?
We have some good stuff coming here. A thing that I really appreciate is we're releasing a version of the Scout armor that's the Covert Scout armor. It's all dark. You look super cool, like Batman or something, and it has a built-in shadowed armor mod to help with stealth, and that's something that's not available on the default Scout armor.
Ooh, very nice. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and there's some new camp items as well. That includes some Brotherhood of Steel and Enclave medallions, a green stasis tube that contains a Wendigo, and some laboratory chalkboards. So it's kind of cool that players can use these items to recreate their own Enclave research lab in their camp.
I see that Super Mutant tube that we released a little while ago almost everywhere. So I'm excited to get the Wendigo one. I think a lot of people will be. It's cool that we're doing another one of those.
Yeah, it looks very similar, so it'll be good to add to a collection inside of your shelter.
Awesome. So new stuff. I mean, we covered the rewards, we covered the new mode, but here I'm watching this video. We're in Watoga Raider Arena. Tell me a little bit more about all the new locations that are coming, and in particular the one that we're watching right now.
This is Watoga Raider Arena, and obviously it's a big community request. It's something that everybody wanted to be able to return to that version of the Watoga Civic Center. We were able to deliver on that. And speaking of requests, another one that we were able to bring here is Vault 96, and it is our frozen vault. There was an issue with the cryo chamber that caused everything to freeze over, and visually I think it's very distinct to any location in our game, and it's also a ton of fun to play in both Uplink and Decryption. And we have one more map that we're bringing with this, and that's West Tech, which is everybody's favorite farming spot.
Definitely. Catch me at West Tech every day, practically. So you read my mind a little bit with, I was going to ask, what's going on here in Vault 96? But, is this something that when players are playing through the daily op, I mean, I know that they're kind of rushed for time, but are they going to be able to find any little bits of lore in here, any hints of what happened?
I mean, obviously there's going to be lore and loot and all that stuff inside the vault. On release, it is not going to be explorable by outside of daily ops like Vault 94 was. And all I can really say is we wanted to do something a little bigger and more story-oriented with it. So it's something that people can get excited about for the near future.
Ooh, cool. I bet that will be worth the wait. So as we're watching this video here, I'm seeing a lot of different enemies. We've had Blood Eagles in the past, and super mutants and robots. But who are we going to be fighting in the new daily ops? Or what new enemy types are being added to the randomized pool with the expansion?
Yeah, we have 3 new encounter groups. We have the Mole Miner faction, and they're going to be supplemented by mole rats, including exploding mole rats, everybody's favorite.
Oh no.
People love exploding enemies. And we have the Scorch encounter group, which is my favorite. As I was helping put together the Scorch faction, we realized that just the Scorch themselves weren't quite as compelling as we were hoping, and so we were able to mix in certain insects like blood bugs. We were able to mix in the cave crickets, which are absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
And we were able to mix in wolves and stuff like that. So the Scorched encounter group is kind of a catch-all, and it turns out to be a very interesting and diverse experience fighting that encounter group. And then our third one is the Cultist faction, and obviously we have the Cultist, and you know, these locations are too big, or too small rather, for the Mothman. But we were able to introduce a new encounter type called the Mothman Hatchling, which you'll see at some point in this video. So look out for that. It's a fun new popcorn enemy to take down.
It might be the cutest Mothman I've ever seen.
Yeah, you might not feel too good about killing it, to be honest. It's so cute.
So speaking about the new enemies and mutations, we have bosses in the uplink mode. Do we have new bosses in Decryption?
Yeah, just like our previous faction, our new faction has these cool new bosses that come with it. We have a cultist boss who wears a ghillie suit and these really cool Mothman glasses. We have a Scorched boss, and her attack is this big green plasma thing that is very intimidating. And then the Mole Miner boss, and his thing is essentially a rapid-fire mini nuke launcher, and this thing is terrifying to deal with in reality. Like, so look forward to that one.
And then, you know, on top of the enemies, we're also adding new mutations. So which mutations I see Swift here on this Scorched Incinerator. What is Swift, and what are some of the others that we're adding?
We have 3 new mutations that we're bringing. The first one, as you mentioned, is swift-footed, and the enemies run especially fast, and especially melee enemies are very terrifying when this happens. Cave crickets will sneak up behind you before you realize what happened and kill you in one hit with the Savage Strike default mutation. So it can be very scary experience. We also have Toxic Blood, which when enemies die, they're going to drop a hazard, a poison hazard on the ground, which especially in uplink really shakes up your ability to stand around the capture radiuses. And the third one we have is Group Regeneration. And Group Regeneration is cool because by themselves the enemies don't do anything special, but the second they get bunched up, they all slowly heal each other. So it really adds a lot to the depth, especially if fighting boss enemies in both modes, to have to clear out the smaller adds with less health so you can kill the boss without it slowly taking up health. So all 3 of those I'm really excited about because they really change up the gameplay. And by the way, all these combinations are available in both Decryption and Uplink, so it sort of exponentially increases the amount of variety you can get in these matches.
That's cool. I'm a little bit terrified to find out what swift-footed exploding mole rats are like. But, you know, I guess we'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
I think you'll hear the explosion before you see them coming.
Oh, no. So we got all these new locations, the new enemies, the new mutations, and the new mode. How did the community feedback sort of factor into how you looked at the Daily Ops expansion and what you decided to include and how you decided to implement it?
Yeah, community feedback was really important to us. I mean, I personally read the forums all the time, and I know the entire team does the same thing. We're very interested in what people have to say in the feedback that they give. So we already talked about locations that we're bringing that were community requests, but right. we have some other stuff, just quality of life improvements in general that we think people appreciate. I believe we've already talked about publicly how we're going to in this patch. There's a melee attack improvement, just connecting more reliably, which should help things out like Resilient. I went through and reduced the time it takes to activate the uplink in the uplink mode and the activators in this mode from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, so make that a little punchier. And something that Justin just sort of did in his spare time, which was awesome, was he added in a cleanup mode at the end of both uplink and decryption. So once you complete the final objective, no longer will you get attacked while you're trying to look at your rewards. All the enemies are gonna sort of have a fun little explosion at the end, and it won't be bothering you anymore.
Yeah, we got a cool, satisfying pop.
That's awesome. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone. That just about does it for our Daily Ops expansion. Justin, Steve, thank you. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. We're really excited to get community feedback from this, and we're excited to just keep on delivering on more Daily Ops content in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. For those of you at home who want to jump into the Daily Ops expansion, you can join us right now in the public test server, dive into some new locations, take on some new enemies, and try out the new mode. For everyone else, we can't wait to see you when the Daily Ops expansion goes live in our Locked and Loaded update in a few weeks. Thank you once again for tuning in to our latest Dev Dive. We'll catch you in Appalachia.
And in addition to all of the new content, we also have new rewards. There's a new set of scout armor, a covert scout armor you can get from doing daily ops. Also, plans for a couple of old weapons from survival. One of them was the medical malpractice and the extremely popular melee weapon, the unstoppable monster. These will have plans for us to make these items. That's fantastic. And live right now, today on April 8th, the Purveyor is feeling generous this weekend. Let's hope she gives us some good stuff. She has 25% off all legendary weapons and armor. And again, thanks so very much for watching, and I'll see you out in the wasteland.